Richmond just became Virginia's fastest growing metro area, with some suburbs jumping over 10% in home value in just a year. Just for reference, the average American home value increase annually is between 3 and 5%. So that's a lot. But which are the best suburbs to put your money on? That's what we'll be covering today. There's 9 specific areas that are leading this incredible boom, and today we're taking a look at all of them. If you're considering a move to Richmond or looking to upgrade within the area, you need to understand what's driving this unprecedented growth and which neighborhoods provide the best opportunities. I'm Amanda Seibert with Seibert Real Estate, and for the last 15 years, my husband and I have been helping families navigate Richmond's most desirable neighborhoods. And today we're going to show you all that Richmond has to offer, so let's get into it. Historic doesn't always have to mean outdated. Although it may come as a surprise, these 4 neighborhoods are proving that you can have the best of Richmond's past and incredible growth too. Let's start off in Churchill. Churchill sits just east of downtown. Here you've got direct access to both Interstate 95 and Interstate 64. Commuting anywhere from Churchill is super convenient. You're just 15 minutes from the airport and 5 minutes from the financial district. But what really sets this area apart is the history. This is where Patrick Henry gave his famous speech, "Give me liberty or give me death." And here you'll just see the history all around you. You'll see many homes with historical landmark plaques marking their significance in history. You'll also see mounting blocks made out of granite for ladies and gentlemen to mount their horses, and many old carriage houses as well. Now, when it comes to housing, home prices range from about $178,000 all the way up to $1.8 million. The median sits around $512,000 according to Zillow, and that wide range means there's something for almost any budget. But what's driving growth in this area specifically? Well, namely vacant land and some of Richmond's best restaurants. I think of Churchill as the West Village or Brookland of Richmond. Lots of cute restaurants, walkability without the density of truly being downtown. Developers here have been hard at work for several years, turning many of these vacant lots into single-family homes and mixed-use developments. Not unlike what's happening in the Diamond District right now, but more on that later. Moving west, we have the Fan District. This neighborhood gets its name from the iconic fan-shaped layout. Those tree-lined streets and historic row houses create an atmosphere unique to Richmond. Location-wise, you're west of downtown with quick access via Interstate 195. The GRTC and Pulse bus routes keep you connected, and the city's recently had a big initiative to incorporate more bike lanes here, making getting around town with 2 wheels much easier and safer. But the best thing about the Fan is its walkability. You can walk to shops, restaurants, parks, and entertainment without needing your car for daily life. And being close to VCU brings constant energy and activity to the area. Now, here's the challenge in the Fan. There's simply not enough housing to meet demand. When properties do hit the market, they move fast. The inventory shortage is pushing up home values. This limited supply issue is the first of 3 major growth drivers that we'll be discussing in this video. But now, let's cross the river to Westover Hills. This neighborhood sits south with easy access to Interstate 95 and Forest Hill Avenue. And once again, it's not about the highways here. This time it's about the community. You've got riverfront parks and trails, the farmers market that sets up here in Forest Hill Park on Sundays, and some of the best sledding in Richmond when we actually get snow. And residents who are genuinely involved in making their neighborhood better. That level of engagement translates directly into property values. Housing here consists mainly of colonial and Tudor revivals, craftsman, and Georgian homes. Prices typically range from $335,000 to over $1.4 million, with the average sales price coming in right at $677,000. And the days on market are right at 15, making this one of the hottest markets in Richmond. I think this is one of the best investments you can make in town. You have this whole pocket of commercial development here on Forest Hill Avenue that's turning over with great up-and-coming restaurants like Janet's Bakery, Little Nickel, the Vale Brewing Company, and many more. This neighborhood used to kind of feel like it was on an island, but with all the development happening around it, it's really making it much more walkable and a solid investment. And finally, we have Northside. Northside's become a hotspot for buyers who want historic neighborhood character without the premium price tag of some of the central areas. You get those tree-lined streets and historic homes with more accessible price points. What's noteworthy here is the sharp appreciation we're seeing. There's strong buyer interest and competitive offers, which creates upward pressure on pricing. A lot of this is being fueled by the parent community at the private school Veritas. Families here are wanting walkability to the school, and that's driving up demand. This part of town currently feels close to the action, but not connected. And I think the Diamond District will change that, and this part of town will become much more walkable and bikeable. This is hands down one of the best investments right now, in my opinion. You get proximity to Richmond's urban fabric without stretching your budget to the limit. Compared to the master plan communities we'll discuss later, you're looking at roughly 20 to 30% more affordable pricing for similar quality of life. If you're loving these Richmond Insider breakdowns, hit that subscribe button because every week I share new neighborhood deep dives, tours, and market analysis. But now, Let's get back to it. So now let's shift gears to the suburbs where families are flocking for space, schools, and amenities. This time, we're not just talking about suburbs though, we're talking about complete lifestyle destinations. First, let me tell you about Short Pump. This area sits at the perfect spot where Interstate 64, Interstate 295, and Highway 288 all come together. This gives you incredible access whether you're heading to downtown Richmond, other Virginia cities, or even up towards Washington, D.C. But connectivity is always just the beginning. Short Pump Town Center anchors everything here with outdoor shopping, major retailers, dining, and entertainment that rivals much larger cities. And when you combine that with some of the area's best schools, you start to understand why demand is so strong. But beyond that, the recreational amenities make it even better. You have Short Pump and Deep Run Park, which aren't just basic parks, they're comprehensive recreational complexes with sports facilities and year-round programming that keeps families engaged. Now, housing in Short Pump ranges from about $390,000 to well over $1 million for modern single-family homes. And what's driving these prices? There's limited land left for new construction. As the area becomes more established, there's less room to build, which pushes existing home values up higher. This is the second of our 3 major growth factors. But now let's move south to Midlothian. Midlothian sits about 20 to 30 minutes from downtown via Route 288 and Highway 60. And the best thing about this area is that it has the perfect combination of master plan communities and incredible recreation. And I mean incredible. We're talking about 210 acres of combined parkland, extensive trail systems, golf courses, and major shopping destinations like Westchester Commons and Chesterfield Town Center. It's the type of planning that appeals to families who want everything within easy reach. Now, the housing diversity in Midlothian is notable. You can find entry-level homes in older neighborhoods for families just getting started, but you also have luxury estates and communities like Salisbury, Founders Bridge, and Halsley for buyers at the higher end. And what makes Midlothian particularly attractive is the balance. You get suburban space and amenities without being completely disconnected from urban opportunities. The commute to downtown is manageable, usually around 20 to 30 minutes, and the community infrastructure supports a high quality of life. You have river access points for tubing, kayaking, or boating. You're a stone's throw from horse country in Powhatan and Goochland, and the area itself is absolutely gorgeous. But now let's talk a little bit about Glen Allen. Glen Allen sits west of Richmond off Interstate 295, close to where Interstate 95 and Interstate 64 meet. That positioning puts you near major employers like Markel and Capital One. This creates a built-in professional community and supports property values. Housing in Glen Allen shows interesting diversity. You have older established homes, new townhouse developments, and high-end custom builds. Prices typically range from the mid-300s to over $1 million, depending on what type of home and community you're targeting. And Glen Allen isn't a new community, but there are a lot of exciting things coming to Glen Allen. There's the big makeover at the old Genworth campus on West Broad Street. Baltimore-based Greenberg Gibbons is under contract to scoop up the 45-acre site, which Genworth vacated after announcing its move in 2022. Their vision is a new mixed-use neighborhood featuring more than 1,000 apartments and townhomes, over 500,000 square feet of fresh and renovated office space, and 150,000 square feet of retail and a few hundred hotel rooms to top it off. And then you have the North End redevelopment, where plans were just approved for up to 600 apartments, 100 condos, and a 150-room hotel and 55,000 square feet of retail space. All of this development makes Glen Allen another great investment. You have a great mix of employment opportunities, recreational amenities, and housing options that create a well-rounded community that appeals to different life stages and lifestyle preferences. But now, I want to show you the areas where you can get the best of both worlds, meaning city access and true suburban space. And for that, you have our 3 top-tier options. Let's start with Henrico and the West End, which are technically the same. The West End really refers to this area here that is within Henrico County. It's called the West End because it's west of the city. You have 269 miles of sidewalk that have already been added here by 2024, but in this case, we're not talking about neighborhood-specific development. That's just a stat to tease out something much bigger. The truth is there's been a coordinated effort to support growth and improve connectivity throughout the area as part of a grander infrastructure investment story we'll have to talk about later. Here you can find established single-family homes in mature neighborhoods or brand new construction in developing areas. It's that balance of established communities and new developments that give buyers choices while supporting continued growth. The area combines suburban space and privacy with practical access to Richmond's job centers and cultural amenities. And then moving out even even further, you have Goochland County, which borders Henrico County, with immediate access to Interstate 64 and 288. This is where you go if you want large lots and a rural atmosphere, but still a reasonable commute time to the city. You're a stone's throw from major employers like CarMax and Capital One, and the 2025 Parks and Recreation Master Plan shows Goochland's commitment to enhancing recreational amenities while maintaining that rural character that attracts residents. It's a thoughtful approach to growth that preserves what people love about the area while also adding modern conveniences. Housing options here range from older farmhouses with historical character to new luxury construction and custom estates and master plan communities on acreage. The lower population density keeps your cost per square foot more affordable compared to the closer-in suburbs, while providing access to Richmond's job market and amenities. If you prioritize space, privacy, and quieter pace of life without giving up modern conveniences like Target and Wegmans, Goochland could very much be an attractive option for you. And finally, we have Hanover County. Hanover County's highway access via Interstate 95, Interstate 295, and Interstate 64 make Richmond, Washington, D.C., and the Tidewater region all easily reachable. The Rutland-Atlee corridor has become a growing mixed-use zone that's adding commercial and residential development. Now, Hanover consistently receives recognition for high quality of life and excellent schools. This drives demand from families. And the combination of good schools, recreational opportunities, and regional connectivity creates a compelling package for buyers. New single-family home construction continues throughout Hanover, with developers focusing on family-oriented communities that emphasize privacy and space. And with all that said, we have three major things that are driving all of our growth here in Richmond. Number one, our population surge. People are moving here in massive numbers. The Richmond metro area is the fastest growing in Virginia, with 90% of that growth coming from migration. Both domestic and international newcomers are choosing Richmond because of the robust economy, cultural amenities, and lifestyle balance. But here's what's important. This is not a phase. This isn't temporary. These are people making permanent moves to our major employers like CarMax, Capital One, and CoStar. They're buying homes and putting down roots for the long term. That creates sustained demand for housing and supports long-term property value appreciation. And the diversity of newcomers spans young professionals, established families, and retirees. This means demand covers different price points and neighborhood types, which is why we're seeing growth across all 9 areas we discussed. And then there's infrastructure. The investment happening across Richmond is substantial. Beyond those 269 miles of sidewalk added by 2024 and more since, we're seeing major improvements in roads, transit expansion with the GRTC Pulse bus system, and comprehensive park enhancements, not to mention a ton of private development. So this isn't just maintenance, this is expansion and improved design to support continued growth. When local government invests this heavily in infrastructure, it signals confidence in long-term development and typically results in increased property values. But the infrastructure improvements also enhance quality of life. This makes these areas more attractive to new residents and supports the population growth we're seeing. And finally, compared to other mid-sized or larger metro areas, Richmond still provides competitive pricing for the lifestyle and opportunities it delivers. You can get significantly more house for your money here than cities like Washington, D.C., New York, or even Charlotte. Now, we're seeing rising home values that reflect strong demand and limited supply, but the opportunity still exists to get into these markets before the major price appreciation that typically follows this type of sustained growth. The combination of value and opportunity is attracting both families looking for their primary residence and investors who recognize the growth potential. But there's one more story that's going to impact every single suburb we discussed today. And if you've been listening, you know what I'm talking about. The $900 million Diamond District development is currently underway, and this isn't your typical development project. This is a brand new 10,000-seat stadium for the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and it's around 2,800 residential units that include both market rate and affordable housing. And it's over 1 million square feet of office space, and it's an 180-room hotel, and acres and acres of public parks and green space. Now, this single project will create thousands of jobs and transform downtown Richmond, which is great. But it'll also create a ripple effect that impacts property values across all suburbs we've covered today. When you have a development of this size, it doesn't just affect the immediate area, it enhances the entire region's appeal and economic prospects. And that means all of those neighborhoods we just talked about become even more attractive to potential buyers. But let's talk timeline. This project means we're looking at sustained construction activity, job creation, and economic impact over the next several years. This type of long-term development supports continued population growth and provides confidence for additional private investment throughout the metro area. And when you combine this level of development investment with the population growth and infrastructure improvements we've discussed, you can see exactly why these 9 suburbs are positioned for unprecedented and continued continued growth. So there you have it. It's a time of unprecedented growth and opportunity here in Richmond. So if you're considering a move, now is the time. And if you need help finding that perfect place fast, you can contact us at amanda@cyberre.com or using the contact details in the description below. And if you want to learn more about this $900 million development, you can watch this video right here. As always, thanks for watching, y'all, and we'll see you next week.